before family care, there was a system in place. And obviously family care was a large change. It was implemented in most of the state, but not all of it, because there's certain counties that have said they're not going there.
Right.
You obviously have funding issues with family care. I guess I'm curious to know what was the reason for the change, and was it working before? Was there funding properly before? And is family care part of the reason that we have a lack of funding, or is it simply budget constraints from the federal, state level, the federal level? How did we get to where we're at? Where we have people that, you know, I've been involved in this for years, and I never recall my parents saying there was issues with the level of support that my sister got. And I didn't know that either, and this, over the last few years, it seems like it's gone the other direction. What's the cause?
Well, you have counties that don't have family care that, you know, have even worse situations in a lot of cases, so, you know, you gotta look at what's the alternative or whatever too.
You know, Dane County is one county that's been fighting, kicking and screaming to stay out of family care because they put extra county money in and they don't want to give it up to the state. Each county that went into family care had to give up their county levy that they were using for long-term care. They had to donate it back to the state over a 5-year period. There was a kind of a declining schedule that they had where at the end they didn't pay anything, and then they just got the family care benefit. But you know, how we got into it, I think that's an interesting problem. It was really because of the waiting list. And all of us were in agreement that the waiting list was a terrible problem.
Right.
People weren't getting services. I think Bob can talk to that. He's now finally getting some services, lived in Milwaukee, lives in Milwaukee County, and just recently got Iris.
But we were a little bit isolated here in Jefferson County because Opportunities Incorporated had a fabulous relationship with Jefferson County. Okay? Jefferson County said, this is how much money we're going to give you, and we said we will serve all the people you send to us. So we never had a bad relationship with them. So all the dollars we just funneled in, okay? So we had staffings together, we set up the person's plan together, we had the wraparound services together. Then family care came in and they said, we're gonna cut your rates and you are no longer invited to be part of the staffing, okay, unless the family specifically asks. Even people that we were guardians, or our guardians of, who struggled to get that. So there was a system in place that we felt we were fine with funding that we had. And the county was happy with what they were providing us, but then that whole thing changed, and they'll never be able to go back to it because the county is gone.
You know, I think
They've been dismantled.
I think that the you know, once you've seen one managed care organization, you've seen one managed care organization because they're all different in many respects. So you've got Community Care of Central Wisconsin that does a very good job in partnering with its providers. They didn't take this attitude that you just heard where people weren't welcome, you're just going to come in and cut. They were more collaborative on it. But ultimately, there are some design problems that need to be fixed. We don't want to just throw the baby out with the bathwater. We don't want family care to end any more than anybody else does, but we do want it fixed. And we think it needs to be from the bottom up where assessments make sense for people with disabilities, and funding is based on what people need, not on how much you know, the gods of the chief financial officer's realm say is available, but rather the other way around. The people's needs drive funding, not the other way around.
But isn't it Milwaukee County and Dane County and Rock County with the three that are?
No, Milwaukee's in.
Brown, was it Brown?
There's 15 counties, Brown, Rock, and Dane are the three biggest.
Okay.
But it's like northern Wisconsin, Rock, and
But
Dane.
wouldn't those dollars help to level the playing field across
Yes.
the state?
But they don't want to necessarily up their dollars.
Okay. But it's a state program. It's driven from the state level.
That's a county levy dollars.
The way family care was set up was.
You're gonna have to do that historical piece. I lived in Wisconsin for 7 months, so 8 months. So
Counties were, in legislation, counties were given the right to decide when they were going to enter family care. So it takes a county board resolution to enter family care. Once that resolution is passed, then it goes to the Joint Committee on Finance in the legislature, who has to then approve a county's entering into family care because they know it's going to have a fiscal impact.
Well, sure.
And so, because, you know, taking people off the waiting list isn't cheap either. So that's,
We have a population base that you do in Dane County,
yeah.
and you have a lot more resources. And the point is to help as many people as you can help.
Yeah.
And so are they actually overfunding that county for the services they're providing, so they have to
No,
push it?
the state provides a limited amount of funding, the county goes above that. They say that if they enter family care in Dade County, the funding on a per person basis would drop $1,500 per person per month. So it's a huge drop, for them, it would mean major changes in what they do, and they don't want to see that. So, you know, they've been holding out.